Que pasa, mi amigos? It's Nima here, and this is going to be another short video, but I wanted to talk about something that recently came up in one of the comments that was sent by one of my viewers, which I super appreciate you, and I really do appreciate people who even question me and push back like this. In fact, that's why I'm doing this video. So, someone had commented that it was a bit pretentious of me that I said that indie games have more heart, more passion, and more soul. And the fact is, they're right. That is really pretentious of me. Because the reality is, it doesn't exist on all levels, right? Like, there are AAA titles that do an amazing job of putting their entire being into a game, and when we receive that product, we're incredibly happy to have it, and it really just shows why the video game industry is so great. But, see, for me, it's the other aspect. It's the fact that I would say in the general sense of it, AAA titles are kind of just there to make more money. Like, if they're not focusing on being games as a service, they're games that are halfway released, and we have to have, like, this faith that they're going to release a full game. And the titles that were kind of compared in this was Imp of the Sun and Kirby's Dream Land. The thing is, Kirby, he's Kirby, whatever the new Kirby is. And you can tell, I'm not like a huge Kirby fan. I'm more a fan of like the retro Kirby games, which is weird because I didn't grow up playing them. But even the Kirby game, a friend of mine let me borrow it, and so I got a chance to play it. And I would say, God, maybe within 8 hours, I had beaten it completely. And it just didn't seem like that great to me. Like, this is cool, but $60 for that? I don't know. It felt kind of stingy to me. It felt greedy. And that's what a lot of these AAA titles seem to me, is they ask so much money and they kind of underdeliver in a lot of ways. Now, again, don't get me wrong, a game like Triangle Strategy, it's well worth the $60. Especially if that's like your type of game and you like the strategy, tactical, combat system and the deep political lines that go through it, where, kind of like Game of Thrones meets Final Fantasy Tactics. You're gonna love that game. And that game is filled to the brim with content. Well worth it. But so many of the other titles I can think of that especially have released in the last couple of years, it's not that way. You might get something like overinflated, like a Ubisoft title, or I hate to say it, but even Horizon Forbidden West, which I do really like that game, but yeah, a lot of it is kind of just like added on extra and kind of forgettable, to be honest. Or you can get a game like Halo that is completely just it was unfinished. It's still unfinished, and you can see like this new Halo potentially killed the entire line of Halo. Like, I'm not saying it's like unsalvageable, but I'm saying right now Halo's kind of a joke. Or you can look at all the Mario titles that have come out recently. No, not the series titles, but the sports titles. Like, we have to have faith that they're going to add more in. And I can start to see this trend where a lot of these big name titles, and again, it's not just Nintendo, it's not Sony, it's all of them. They do this, like release these unfinished games. The ones that maybe haven't done that as much has been Sony, but that doesn't mean they won't start doing that. And they also kind of don't offer, they're a little high end, we'll say it that way. And there's nothing wrong with that if you can afford it and you can whatever, it's all good. But I guess where I'm going with this is when we purchase like an indie title, we know that the creators, the developers, everybody put their all into the game, and they don't expect to make a lot of money off of it. So they're shooting their shot. Like, that's their aspirations. That's them trying to be bigger. As where a lot of these other titles, they just know we're gonna buy it. Like, it's in Madden 23. They're gonna make probably millions, if not billions, off of it. They know that. There's nothing. Why even try? Why even show up? As where, again, a lot of these indie titles, they have to work their ass off to get to, just an semblance of, making a little bit of profit. Like, and the prices show for it. And, again, I think that they're stuck in a role as well where if they did start charging more, we would start questioning as well, because sometimes it's a dev team of like 3 people and we question, cost, because we always question cost. As gamers, we're also consumers. We also look at price tags, but I don't know, that's just my take, and that's my whole reason why I say I feel like, again, on the average, in a general sense, AAA titles aren't as impassioned. They don't have as much soul as indie titles do. And that's just, I don't know, I don't like that. And again, I see this trend of all these subscription services coming out and these games coming out unfinished, and I'm starting to put two and two together, and I don't know, I can easily see a future where we're going to have unfinished games that come out, but you can only get the content if you either buy DLC or you are subscribed to their service. And that puts you in one hell of a position because, for one, even if you buy the game, you don't even own it, really. You own like half of it, or you own 70% of it. The rest of it is only on the sub-service. And we're already getting to this like digital dystopia where games are just pulled for no reason, or we don't really own our games, and even the physical copies we don't really own. If they decide to shut down the servers, it's done. We don't have the game. So, I don't know, that's just a lot of, like, where I'm at and why I really feel like if there was more indie companies in charge, we wouldn't be having this problem. But that's just me. Anyway, guys, I appreciate you. Take care.